So I am here with Madam X, who cannot reveal her identity because she's an acting coach and she has a lot of liberal clients, but she is an independent who voted for Bernie last time. So we're going to talk to her about why she is here in front of the Montage Hotel waiting for Trump.
I'm waiting for Trump because I think he's the best president we've ever had, and I believe he really loves this country. And I do think that it is time for the old, to just be blown up, and that's what he's doing. He's blowing it up. And that's what I think Bernie would have done had he won. He's blowing up a system that just doesn't work for most people, and most people are not happy with it.
So you voted for Bernie in the Democratic primary in 2016?
Yes, I did. And then I voted for Trump in the general election.
Now, apparently there wasn't a large percentage of people who did that. There were a large percent of Obama voters from 2008 and 2012 who voted for Trump. A lot of people in the Midwest who lost their jobs because of these trade deals. What were your reasons for voting for Bernie and then for voting for Trump, aside from the one you already said about blowing up the system?
I will tell you, healthcare is a huge issue for me. I'm an independent, and I pay a fortune every single month just to have catastrophic health care for me and my family, and I want affordable health care. So that's one. Two is I do believe Americans should come first. I'm okay with immigration legally. I'm not okay with illegal immigration, and I think we have enough people here. LA is crowded enough, and I think we should be able to stop people from coming in here illegally. If they want to come here legally.
Okay, well, let's break those down.
So those are my two main issues right now. Why I pick who I pick.
Okay, so let's go to health care. So you know that Bernie wants to have Medicare for all. Of all the Democrats standing, even though there were several candidates who supported it in the beginning, they've all bowed to public pressure. They're against it. You know that if we had Medicare for all, you would not pay premiums, co-pays, deductibles. Everything would be covered. He's also adding vision, dental, mental health, hearing aids, and home health care. Your taxes would go up, but for the average American, they would be way less than what you're paying right now in all those other charges. There would be a $200 per year cap on prescription drugs, and you would be able to change jobs. Also, employers would benefit because they wouldn't have to provide health insurance. So what do you think of Medicare for all, which we know Trump at one point did praise single payer, but he certainly doesn't praise it now, and he's not offering it?
I do not want Medicare for all. I think it will break this. I think it will break the bank. But I am okay with choices, and one of them being Medicare. Like, people can make choices. I'm okay with single payer, but I don't want them to take away private health insurance for whoever has private health insurance. That should be an option for people who do not have insurance and cannot afford insurance. But you shouldn't be forced into Medicare for all if you don't want it. So I don't agree with that.
Okay, but what are you being forced into? If you can choose your doctor, if you could choose your hospital, that's more important.
Oh, that's what Obama said, right? He said that with Obamacare, and I have not been able to choose my doctor. My premiums did go up. I pay triple now for a tenth of the coverage I used to get. So I don't believe that bumper sticker, oh, we'll keep your doctor, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And what doctor is going to want to work when you're capping them? I just don't believe it. I think Medicare is great as a choice for people who maybe don't have health care, but to force people who are happy with their health care into that plan, no. And the reason why I support Trump is because I believe he really cares about this country. He's working, he's not getting paid. He actually gave up his billionaire lifestyle, probably is losing money being president, where other people are making money in politics. He's not one of them.
Well, what about the fact that he's funneling all these events, conferences? Secret Service people now have to pay rack rate, even though he said they were getting a discount when he goes anywhere. They're spending $4,000 a night for a suite at a Trump hotel. I mean, you do know that's happening, right?
I thought he backed away from that, and no, I didn't.
And he refused to divest himself from his businesses and put it in a blind trust. His sons
have all backed away. They don't do. That is not true. That is not true.
But his sons don't even say they've backed away.
They absolutely do. Donald Trump Jr. just the other day said that they're not making money, from Donald Trump's office, and they have backed away from their overseas investments and interests. I look at Obama, right?
Okay, listen, I wasn't a huge
$16 million Martha's Vineyard mansion.
Yeah,
right?
$14.7 million.
Didn't he just do that?
Yeah.
He didn't. Okay, he didn't have that money before he was president, right?
Well, he is making the money from the book deal and the movie deal, and I was not a big Obama supporter. In fact, in 2012, I voted for Jill Stein because I didn't like what Obama did. And I don't like Obamacare because it forces people to buy a private product that they can't afford to use.
Exactly.
I currently pay $661 a month, and my deductible is $8,000. So that means that I have to pay for something that I can't use because I'm never going to spend, because unless something catastrophic happens to me, which did. I got cancer 10 years ago.
God, I'm sorry to hear
so
that.
I have to keep insurance because who knows if it's going to come back again. But what I'm saying is CEOs got very wealthy. Health insurance company CEOs before Obamacare, they were making $13 million. 2 years later, they were making $15 million, then $17 million, and now the top three health insurance companies are making $20 million a year. And they do that by denying people care. But I mean, certainly you must find with your insurance currently that they're telling you what they're going to cover, what they're not going to cover, what doctors you can use, what doctors you can't use, and that's private insurance.
I'm on I did a health share, which is not really insurance. It's kind of it's a share where people pay a certain amount every month, and then you're able to, so it's kind of like insurance, but it's not. But that was all I could afford. I couldn't afford actual insurance for my family. Would have been $1,800 a month. And before Obama put in Obamacare, California had a thing called Industry Advantage. So if you were in, the industry, the film and television industry, you were able to buy your own insurance for a really affordable rate. I paid $450 for full coverage for the three of us, no deductible. Now I am paying for a catastrophic health share plan that nothing is covered. I took my daughter to Cedars-Sinai because she had chest pains. $8,000 was the bill.
Yeah.
$8,000. I am beside myself fuming.
Right.
But I just want to ask you a
But Trump is
question.
not doing anything about
I know,
that.
they need to. I'm not saying he has yet. But he's done he's kept so many of his other promises. I believe he's going to get to that.
Okay, what were you going to ask me?
I have a question for you. When they steal the nomination from Bernie again, which they are going to, they're already setting up with Michael Bloomberg to steal it from him, who are you going to vote for? Because you are not going to let them do that, are you?
No, I will tell you that on my Facebook page the other day, I posted that in 2015, 2016, I was not Bernie or bust. Up until last week, I was not Bernie or bust, but until that I saw how much money he was spending, how he bought up all the airwaves, how he is running a commercial that makes it look like Obama endorsed him, that didn't, and all the old black ladies in the South are now thinking that Obama endorsed Bloomberg and are planning to vote for the guy that expanded stop and frisk, one of the biggest racists out there. I said, no, this time it's Bernie or bust. And I'm going to do what I did last time in the general election, which is write in Bernie Sanders' name. Because he was an official write-in candidate, because several of my friends applied to be electors. And in California, if you can get 55 certified electors, then you can be a certified write-in candidate.
Oh, that's great.
So I actually wrote him in, and I will do that again.
Okay. I'm just curious because I have a feeling that all of Bernie's supporters will not be voting for Michael Bloomberg or any other Democrat that steals the nomination from him, because that is what they're setting up to do again.
Right.
And it really pisses me off, actually,
Yeah.
because they stole it from him the first time.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, and I'll close with this question. If I send you a study that was just completed by the Yale School of Public Health about Medicare for All, will you read it?
I will read it. I will read it, but they finally admitted, even Elizabeth Warren backed away from Medicare for All because of the cost involved, and I don't want to pay more taxes, and I don't believe for 1 second that I'll be paying less taxes.
Well,
I already pay too many taxes. And California in particular, there's a whole bunch of tax propositions coming on the ballot again, March 3rd, and every time I turn around, there's a higher tax here. So I do not condone anything that's going to cost me more in taxes.
Okay, well, if it could be proved to you that your overall spending would go down, what you spent on health care, if the increased tax you pay on Medicare, because you're already paying into Medicare.
I know.
If the increased tax you pay on Medicare will be less than all these charges you've just told me about, if you could be convinced from your own research that that would be the case, would you once again consider voting for Bernie, since healthcare is your number one issue?
It is not my only issue. It's one of my top issues, but I am not okay with, and something Bernie does support, is giving healthcare to illegal immigrants. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that, so I'd absolutely not. I will read it because I will have an open mind about what the costs would be and how it would affect me, but I am so not okay. When I saw on that debate stage how every single Democrat raised their hand to give health care to illegal immigrants, my heart sank, because their duty is to the American people. And if you drive around California and you see all those homeless people, okay, they're being affected by the amount of people we let in this country.
Okay, well, I also could show you, and I'm not going to bother you with all this stuff, but I could also show you studies that immigrants are a net positive to the economy because they work and they pay into these government programs, Social Security, Medicare. No, but they get taxes taken out of their paycheck, but they don't see it because they're not legal. In other words, they come up with a phony Social Security number so that they can work. And they get the taxes taken out, they pay into the system, but they never see the benefits. Also, one thing to consider is the public health effects of having everybody getting health care.
Yes.
You don't want a bunch of sick people running around.
And that is what Gavin Newsom said when I called his office. That was their excuse. And let me tell you something. That is true. But first, just like when you're on an airplane and they say put your mask on first before you put your child's on, take care of the people that live here first. Make sure they all have health insurance before you're taking care of people that shouldn't even be here.
Okay, thank you, Madam X.
You are so welcome.
All right, but I want to send you...
help anyway?